Part 1. The thing about drunk promises is that you're supposed to forget them by morning. I didn't forget. It was the last party of junior year, and Tyler's basement was packed with people who wouldn't remember each other's names by September. Someone had spiked the punch, badly, and the music was too loud. And I was sitting on a ratty couch next to Ethan Hayes, my best friend since 4th grade, watching him try to eat a slice of pizza that kept folding in half. "This is impossible," he said, laughing as cheese slid onto his shirt. "Physics is against me." "You're just drunk. You're drugged too." He wasn't wrong. The room had that pleasant, fuzzy quality where everything seemed hilarious and profound at the same time. Ethan had his head tilted back against the couch, and I could see the line of his throat when he swallowed, and I immediately looked away because that was weird. That was a weird thing to notice about your best friend. "We're going to be seniors," Ethan said suddenly, like he'd just realized it. "Holy shit, Jamie, we're going to be seniors." Scary, right? Terrifying. He turned to look at me, his dark eyes unfocused. "What if we peak in high school? What if this is it, and we don't even know it?" "We're not peaking. We're barely even mid-sloping." That made him laugh, that full-body laugh that I'd heard 1,000 times. Mid-sloping. That's perfect. That's exactly what we are. Around us, people were dancing, making out, doing whatever drunk teenagers do when their parents aren't home. I watched Ethan watch them, something thoughtful crossing his face. "You know what I just realized?" he said. "We've never been to prom." "We were juniors. Juniors don't go to prom." "Some juniors do, if they have dates." He paused. "We could have gone." "Neither of us had dates." "Exactly." Ethan sat up straighter, animated now, in that way drunk people get when they think they've had a brilliant idea. "Let's make a pact." Oh, God. "Now, listen. He grabbed my arm, his fingers warm even through my sleeve. "If we're both still single by prom next year, senior prom, we go together, as a joke, as friends, just so we don't miss it." I should have said no. I should have laughed it off, changed the subject, literally anything else. Instead, I said, "Deal." Ethan grinned and stuck out his hand for a shake. His palm was slightly sweaty, and the handshake lasted a second too long, and I felt something shift in my chest that I immediately buried. It was a joke, a stupid drunk pact that didn't mean anything. Except now it's October of senior year, and we're both still single. And I'm starting to think the universe has a sick sense of humor. The thing is, it's not like we haven't had opportunities. Ethan could have dated half the girls in our grade if he wanted to. He's tall, with this perpetually messy brown hair that somehow looks good instead of like he just rolled out of bed. And he does this thing where he focuses completely on whoever he's talking to, like they're the only person in the room. People notice that. Girls notice that. In September, Sarah Chen asked him to homecoming. She's smart, funny, objectively pretty. Ethan said no. Said he wasn't really looking to date right now. 2 weeks later, Amanda from his AP Lit class asked if he wanted to see a movie. He said he was busy. Last week, I watched Julia Martinez slip her number into his backpack, and he never even mentioned it. "You're being weird," I told him in the cafeteria on a Tuesday, watching him push his food around without eating it. "I'm not being weird." "You're absolutely being weird. You've turned down like 3 girls this semester." "So?" He finally looked up, defensive. "Maybe I don't want to date anyone." "You always want to date someone. You've had a crush on someone constantly since 7th grade. That was true. Ethan fell easily. Quick, intense crushes that burned bright and faded fast. There was the girl from debate team, the barista at Starbucks, the exchange student from France. He'd pine dramatically for a few weeks, maybe work up the nerve to talk to them and then move on to someone new. But this year? Nothing. Radio silence. People change, Ethan said, stabbing a French fry. Maybe I'm focusing on school. SATs are coming up. The SATs are not why you turned down Sarah. How do you know? Because I know you. Something flickered across his face, too quick to read. Maybe you don't know me as well as you think you. It came out sharper than he probably intended, and we both felt it. The air got tight and uncomfortable, the way it does when you accidentally step on a landmine in a conversation. Sorry, Ethan said immediately. I didn't mean it like that. It's fine. Jamie? It's fine. I have to get to calc anyway. I left before he could say anything else, and I felt his eyes on my back the whole way out of the cafeteria. Here's what I didn't tell Ethan. I've also turned down 3 people this semester. Kevin from track asked me to homecoming the same night Sarah asked Ethan. I said I wasn't really into dances. Beth from newspaper asked if I wanted to study together, heavy emphasis on the together. And I said I was swamped. And last week, this guy from my English class, Daniel I think, asked point blank if I was seeing someone. Not really, I said, which was the truth. Would you want to grab coffee sometime? I'm kind of busy right now, but thanks. His face had fallen and I felt like an asshole, but the word yes just wouldn't come out.
The problem, and I'm only barely admitting this to myself, is that I can't stop thinking about the pact. It's like a low hum in the back of my mind, constant and impossible to ignore. Every time someone asks me out, I think, but what if I'm not single by prom? And then, do I want to be single by prom? Which is insane. It's a joke pact, a drunk promise between friends that doesn't mean anything. Except sometimes I catch Ethan looking at me in the hallway, and he looks away too quickly. Except we've been best friends for 8 years, and suddenly, there are these weird silences where we both seem to be thinking something we're not saying. Except last week, his hand brushed mine when we were walking to class, and I felt it like an electric shock, and when I glanced at him, his ears were red. I'm not stupid. I know what this is. I've been in denial about it for approximately 2 years, but I'm not stupid. The problem is, I don't know if Ethan is in denial too, or if he's genuinely oblivious, or if he knows exactly what's happening and he's just as terrified as I am. Part 2. You're overthinking it, Riley tells me on a Friday afternoon, sprawled across my bed while I pretend to do homework. Riley's been my other best friend since freshman year when we got paired for a biology project and bonded over our shared inability to keep plants alive. They're non-binary, impossibly cool, and have no patience for my emotional avoidance. I'm not overthinking anything. You're spiraling. I can hear the spiral in your voice. There's no spiral. Jamie, Riley sits up, fixing me with a look. You've been weird about Ethan since junior year. Now you have this pact thing, and you're both single, and prom is in 7 months. Connect the dots. There are no dots to connect. Oh my God, Riley throws a pillow at me. You're so stubborn. Just tell him you like him. My stomach drops. I don't. Don't lie to me. You're terrible at lying. They're right. I am terrible at lying, but saying it out loud feels like stepping off a cliff. What if he doesn't feel the same way? I say quietly. Riley's expression softens. But what if he does? Then everything changes. We can't just be friends anymore. You're not really just friends now. You're just friends who are both pretending really hard. I want to argue, but the words stick in my throat. Because maybe Riley's right. Maybe Ethan and I have been doing this weird dance for longer than I want to admit. Both of us too scared to be the first one to say something real. 7 months, Riley says. You've got 7 months to figure this out before prom. That's a lot of time. It doesn't feel like a lot of time. It feels like no time at all. November arrives cold and gray, and Ethan starts showing up at my house more often. It's not unusual. He's been coming over since we were kids, but something about it feels different now. He'll text me at random times, "Bored coming over?" And I'll say yes, even if I'm busy, even if I should be studying or sleeping or literally anything else. We fall into a pattern. He comes over, we order food, we watch movies or play video games or just sit and talk about nothing. It feels normal and comfortable and also like standing on the edge of something dangerous. One night in mid-November, we're on my couch watching some action movie neither of us is really paying attention to. Ethan is close enough that I can feel the warmth of him, and I'm hyper aware of every movement. The way he shifts his weight, the way he reaches for his drink, the way he keeps glancing at me when he thinks I'm not looking. "Can I ask you something?" Ethan says during a particularly loud explosion on screen. My heart rate picks up. "Sure." "Why'd you turn down Kevin?" I wasn't expecting that. "What?" "Kevin from track. He asked you to homecoming and you said no. Everyone thought you'd say yes." "Everyone? He's a good guy. You guys are friends. It would have made sense." I don't know how to answer without lying or revealing too much. I just wasn't interested. In him specifically or in going to homecoming? Does it matter? Maybe. Ethan's voice is careful, like he's navigating a minefield. I'm just trying to understand. Understand what? Why you keep saying no to people? The air between us gets heavy. On screen, things are exploding, but all I can hear is my own heartbeat. Why do you keep saying no? Ethan looks away. That's different. How is it different? It just is. That's not an answer. Neither is I wasn't interested. We're both tense now, facing each other on the couch, and I can see the pulse jumping in Ethan's throat. He's scared. He's just as scared as I am. I had a reason. What reason? You. Because of you. Because I've been in love with you since sophomore year, and I can't date anyone else when all I think about is you. I just did. Ethan's jaw tightens. Fine. Keep your secrets. You're keeping secrets too. Maybe we're both are. The tension is suffocating. I should back down, make a joke, change the subject. Instead, I hear myself say, Are you still planning on the pact? Ethan goes very still. What?
The prom pact. Are you still planning on going through with it? For a long moment, he doesn't answer. His eyes search my face like he's looking for something, and I force myself not to look away. Are you? He asks finally. I asked first. Jamie, just answer the question. His voice comes out rough. Yeah, I'm planning on it, if we're both single. My chest feels tight. Okay. Okay? Yeah, me too. Something shifts in Ethan's expression, relief mixed with something else I can't quite name. Good. That's good. We go back to watching the movie, but neither of us is really seeing it anymore. Ethan's shoulder is pressed against mine, and I don't move away, and he doesn't either. When he leaves that night, he pauses at my front door. Jamie? Yeah. I'm glad we made that pact. His voice is soft, almost vulnerable, even if it was stupid. It was definitely stupid. Yeah. He smiles, but it doesn't quite reach his eyes. See you tomorrow? See you tomorrow. I watch him walk to his car, and I think about how many tomorrows we have left before everything changes. December brings the winter formal, which neither of us attends. Riley does go. They've been seeing someone from another school, and they sent me photos from the dance.
Everyone looks happy and dressed up, and I feel a weird pang of something. Not regret exactly, more like anticipation. Like I'm waiting for something I can't quite name. Ethan texts me that night. Movie at my place? I shouldn't go. I should give us both some space, some distance from whatever this is becoming. But I grab my jacket and head over anyway, because apparently I have no self-control where Ethan Hayes is concerned. His parents are out on some work thing, so it's just us in his living room, the lights low, some indie film playing that Ethan swears is really good, but that I'm barely following. Do you ever think about the future? Ethan asks suddenly. I look over at him. He's sprawled on the other end of the couch, his hair even messier than usual, and wearing the ratty sweatshirt he's had since freshman year. Sometimes. Why? I don't know. I've been thinking about it a lot lately. College, what comes after, all of it. He pauses. It's weird to think we might not see each other every day. My stomach twists. I've been trying very hard not to think about that. We'll still be friends? I know, but it won't be the same. Ethan sits up, turning to face me fully. That scares me. The idea of not having you around all the time. You'll have new friends? New people? I don't want new people. It comes out intense, almost angry. Sorry, I like the people I have. I like what we have. Me too. We're looking at each other now, and the air feels charged, like before a thunderstorm. Ethan opens his mouth like he's going to say something, then closes it again. What? I ask. Nothing. It's stupid. Tell me anyway. He takes a breath. I sometimes think about... Never mind. Forget it. Ethan! I said forget it, Jamie. But his voice is tight, and he won't meet my eyes anymore, and I know I've pushed too hard. The rest of the night is awkward, both of us trying too hard to be normal. When I leave, Ethan walks me to the door, and for a second, I think he might say something, whatever he swallowed earlier, but he just waves and tells me to text when I get home. I sit in my car for 5 minutes before starting the engine, my hands gripping the steering wheel, trying to figure out what the hell just happened. Part 3. January is brutal. Not because of the weather, though that's bad too, but because Ethan and I are in this weird limbo where we're still best friends, but also something else, something undefined and uncomfortable that neither of us will acknowledge. We still hang out, we still text constantly, but there's this tension underneath everything now. Like we're both waiting for the other person to do something, say something, make the first move into whatever comes next. Riley corners me in the library during lunch one day in late January. You're both idiots. Thanks. Very helpful. I'm serious. This is painful to watch. Just tell him how you feel. And ruin everything? Everything's already ruined, Riley says bluntly. You're both miserable. You're both single on purpose. You made a pact to go to prom together, and prom is in 4 months, and neither of you will talk about what that actually means. It doesn't mean anything. It's a joke. Jamie, look at me. Waits until I make eye contact. It's not a joke. It hasn't been a joke since you made it, and you know that. My throat feels tight. What if I tell him and he doesn't feel the same way? What if you don't tell him and you spend the rest of your life wondering what would have happened if you'd been brave enough to try? That hits harder than I expect, because Riley's right. I'm being a coward. I'm choosing the safety of not knowing over the risk of finding out. He said something weird in December. Something about not wanting to lose me, about being scared of the future, and then he wouldn't finish what he was going to say. Riley raises an eyebrow. And you didn't push him? I tried. He shut down. So you shut down too. What was I supposed to do?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe say, hey, Ethan, I've been in love with you for 2 years, and I think maybe you feel the same way, so can we please talk about this like adults instead of tiptoeing around each other? I stare at Riley. You make it sound so easy. It's not easy. It's terrifying, but it's better than this. They gesture at me. You're making yourself miserable. They're not wrong. I barely slept in weeks. Every time my phone buzzes, I hope it's Ethan saying something real. Every time we're together, I'm hyper aware of every word, every gesture, looking for signs that might not even exist. 4 months, Riley says again. You've got 4 months until prom. Figure it out before then, or I swear I'm going to lock you both in a room until you talk. February comes with Valentine's Day, which is basically torture. The school does this thing where you can buy roses for people and they get delivered during homeroom. I watch half the class get flowers, including Ethan, who receives 3. One from Sarah, apparently she's not giving up, one from Amanda, and one that doesn't have a name attached. He looks uncomfortable the entire time, and I feel irrationally angry at all of them. Which is stupid. They're just roses. It doesn't mean anything. After class, Ethan catches up with me in the hallway. That was awkward. Yeah? I don't even know who the third was from. He's holding all 3 roses, looking at them like they're live grenades. Do you want them? What would I do with your roses? I don't know. You could give them to someone. I'm good, thanks. Ethan's face does something complicated. Right. Yeah, of course. He walks away before I can say anything else. And I'm left standing in the hallway, feeling like I've just failed some kind of test I didn't know I was taking. That night, Riley texts me. Did you get any roses? No. Did you send any roses? No. You're hopeless. I know. But the thing is, I wanted to. I stood in line at lunch, money in hand, ready to buy a rose for Ethan, and then I thought about him opening it in front of everyone, about the questions it would raise, about how it might change things between us, and I chickened out. I'm starting to realize that's my pattern. Every time there's a chance to be brave, to say something real, I freeze. March arrives with the announcement that prom tickets go on sale in 2 weeks. The entire school is buzzing about it. Who's going with who, what people are wearing, where the after parties are. It feels like everyone has plans except Ethan and me. We're in my car after school one day, sitting in the parking lot because neither of us wants to go home yet, and Ethan says, "So, prom." My heart stutters. Yeah? Tickets go on sale soon. I know. And we're both still single. Yep. There's a long pause. Ethan is looking out the windshield, his jaw tight, and I'm gripping the steering wheel even though the car is not running. Do you want to back out? Of the pact, I mean. If you do, it's fine. I'd understand. Do you want to back out? I asked you first. Ethan. Just answer the question, Jamie. He finally looks at me, and there's something raw in his expression. Do you want to go to prom with me or not? It's not a fair question, because the answer is yes, I want to go to prom with him. I want to go as more than friends. I want to show up in matching suits and take photos and dance with him and have everyone know that we're together. But I can't say that, so instead I say, the pact was your idea. That's not an answer. Yeah, I want to go to prom with you. As friends, like we said. Something crumbles in Ethan's expression so quick I almost missed it. Right. As friends. Unless you don't want to. No, I do. I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page. He unbelts the seatbelt. I should go. See you tomorrow? Ethan, wait. But he's already out of the car, already walking away, and I'm too much of a coward to call him back. I sit there for 20 minutes after he's gone, my head against the steering wheel, wondering how I've managed to make everything so complicated. That night, I barely sleep. I keep replaying the conversation, the look on Ethan's face, the way he said as friends, like the words physically hurt him. Riley was right. This is torture, and I'm doing it to myself. The Monday after prom tickets go on sale, Ethan buys 2. He doesn't tell me. I find out from Riley, who heard it from someone in Ethan's calc class. He bought tickets, Riley says, cornering me at my locker, for you and him, for prom. My chest feels tight. Oh, that's all you have to say? What do you want me to say? How about, thank you for telling me, Riley. I'm going to go find Ethan right now and tell him I'm in love with him. I can't just... Yes, you can. You absolutely can. Riley grabs my shoulders. Jamie, listen to me. He bought prom tickets. He's taking you to prom. He turned down every single person who asked him out this year. Connect the dots. Maybe he really does just want to go as friends.
And maybe I'm the Queen of England. Riley lets go of me, exasperated. Fine, be stubborn, but you're running out of time. Prom is in 6 weeks. 6 weeks. That's 42 days, 1,000 hours. It feels like forever and no time at all. I find Ethan after school, sitting in his usual spot in the library. He looks up when I approach, and something wary crosses his face. "Hey," I say. "Hey." "Riley said you bought prom tickets." Ethan's ears go red. "Yeah, I was gonna tell you. I wanted to make sure you still wanted to go." "Of course I want to go." "Good, that's good." He won't quite look at me. "I got us matching boutonnieres too, blue. I hope that's okay." My throat feels tight. "That's perfect." Cool. Ethan finally meets my eyes, and there's something vulnerable in his expression. "We should probably figure out what we're wearing, make sure we coordinate." "Yeah, we should." We sit there for a moment, the silence stretching between us, and I think about all the things I'm not saying. About how much this means to me, about how terrified I am, about how I wish this wasn't just a pact between friends. "Jamie," Ethan says softly. "Yeah?" "I'm really glad we're doing this." "Me too." And I am. Even if it's torture, even if it's going to break my heart, I'm glad I get this one night with Ethan Hayes, where I can pretend that maybe, possibly, this means the same thing to him that it means to me. Part 4. April is a blur of SATs and college applications and trying to pretend everything is normal when nothing feels normal anymore. Ethan and I go tuck shopping together on a Saturday in mid-April. We settle on classic black suits with blue ties that match our boutonnieres. And when Ethan steps out of the dressing room fully dressed, I forget how to breathe. "What?" he asks, self-conscious. "Does it look bad?" "No. You look..." I clear my throat. "You look good." "Yeah?" Something passes between us, quick and electric, and then the moment breaks and we're back to being normal, or whatever passes for normal between us these days. The woman helping us smiles. "You two look great together. When's the big day?" "May 10th, Ethan says. "It's our senior prom." "How sweet. Have you been together long?" There's a pause. Ethan looks at me and I look at him, and neither of us corrects her assumption. "A while," I hear myself say. Ethan's eyes widen slightly, but he doesn't contradict me. "Yeah, a while." The woman beams and goes back to pinning his jacket, and Ethan and I carefully avoid looking at each other for the rest of the appointment. In the car afterward, neither of us mentions it, but something's shifted again, adding another layer to this complicated thing between us. 6 more weeks, Ethan says, staring out the passenger window. "You nervous?" "A little." "Are you?" "Yeah." "What are you nervous about?" "Everything. That this will be the best night of my life and the worst night of my life simultaneously. That I'll finally tell you how I feel and you'll look at me like I've ruined everything. That I won't tell you and I'll regret it forever." "Just normal prom stuff," I say instead, making sure we get good photos, not tripping during the slow dance. Ethan laughs, but it sounds forced. "We should practice." "Practice what?" "Dancing, so we don't embarrass ourselves." "You want to practice dancing?" "Why not?" He's looking at me now, a challenge in his eyes. "Unless you're too cool for that." "I'm definitely not too cool for that." "Good. My house. Friday night. Bring your dancing shoes." He says it like it's a joke, but there's something serious underneath, and I find myself nodding before I can think better of it. Friday night, I show up at Ethan's house with sweaty palms and a racing heart. His parents are out again. They're always out lately. And he's cleared space in the living room, pushing furniture against the walls. His phone is connected to a speaker, playing some soft instrumental music that's definitely slow dance appropriate. This is ridiculous, I say, but I'm smiling. This is practical. Ethan holds out his hand. Come on, let's see how bad we are. I take his hand, and the touch sends electricity up my arm. Ethan pulls me closer, putting his other hand on my waist, and suddenly we're dancing in his living room, swaying to music that's too romantic for what this is supposed to be. See, not so bad, Ethan says, but his voice sounds strained. Yeah, not bad. We're close enough that I can see the flecks of gold in his dark eyes, can count his eyelashes if I wanted to. His hand on my waist is warm through my shirt, and my hand on his shoulder is probably shaking, and I'm very aware of every place our bodies touch. Jamie, Ethan says quietly. Yeah? Can I tell you something? My heart is hammering. Anything. He opens his mouth, closes it. The song changes to something slower, more intimate. Ethan's grip on my waist tightens slightly. I don't want this to be a joke, he says finally, so quiet I almost don't hear him. I freeze. What? The Pact, Prom, us. His eyes meet mine, and there's fear there, but also determination. I don't want it to be a joke anymore. Ethan? Let me finish, please. He takes a breath. I've been trying to figure out how to say this for months, maybe longer, and I keep chickening out because I'm terrified of losing you. But Riley cornered me last week and basically told me I was an idiot. And they're right, I am an idiot. Riley talked to you? They gave me a very long lecture about emotional cowardice. A small smile tugs at his mouth. But they're not wrong. I've been a coward. We both have. We've stopped dancing, but we haven't moved apart. If anything, we're closer now. What are you saying? I whisper. I'm saying that I didn't turn down those girls because I was busy or because I wanted to focus on school. I turned them down because I was waiting for you. His voice shakes slightly. I've been waiting for you for a really long time, Jamie. I just didn't know how to tell you. My breath catches. How long? Since sophomore year. Maybe before. It's hard to pinpoint exactly when your best friend becomes more than that. His thumb traces small circles on my waist. I made that pact because I was drunk and stupid, and I wanted an excuse to go to prom with you. And then all year, I kept hoping you felt the same way, but I was too scared to ask. Ethan! Let me finish, please. He takes a breath. If you don't feel the same way, that's okay. We can go to prom as friends, and I'll never bring it up again. And we can pretend this conversation never happened. But I needed to tell you. I couldn't go to prom with you without you knowing the truth. He's looking at me with so much vulnerability, so much hope, and I realize that I'm crying. Just a little, tears slipping down my cheeks that I didn't even feel coming. I turned down Kevin because I've been in love with you since we did that group project in sophomore English, the one where you stayed up until 3 a.m. helping me finish my essay, even though it wasn't your responsibility. Ethan's eyes widen. That was almost 2 years ago. I know. You've felt this way for 2 years? Longer, probably. I just didn't want to admit it. I thought I was being obvious. The way I couldn't date anyone else. The way I agreed to that stupid pact immediately, even though I was sober enough to know it was a terrible idea. You were not being obvious. I thought you really wanted to go to prom. I did want to go to prom. With you. As more than friends. Ethan's face does something incredible. Shock melting into joy, melting into disbelief. Say that again? Which part? The part where you said you're in love with me. My heart is racing, but for the first time in months, I feel like I can breathe. I'm in love with you, Ethan Hayes. I have been for a really long time. He kisses me. It's not smooth or practiced. We're both shaking slightly and our noses bump, and I think one of us laughs halfway through. But it's perfect. It's everything. When we pull apart, we're both grinning like idiots. So, Ethan says, his forehead resting against mine, does this mean we're going to prom as boyfriends? I think that's exactly what this means. Good, because I already told the photographer we needed couple photos. I laugh. You did not. I absolutely did. I've been planning this for weeks. Weeks? I was going to tell you that night in December, and then in your car in March, and about 15 other times. His hand comes up to cut my face. I'm really bad at this. You're doing fine now. Yeah, I think I am. We kiss again. Slower this time. And the music keeps playing, and somewhere in the back of my mind, I think about drunk promises and how sometimes they turn into something real. The next 4 weeks are the best of my life. We tell Riley first, and she screams so loud that half the cafeteria turns to look. Finally! Oh my God, finally. You're right, I admit, about everything. I'm always right. You should listen to me more often. We keep it quiet at school, not secret exactly, but not advertising it either. We still sit together at lunch, still walk to class together, still do all the things we've always done. But now Ethan holds my hand in the hallway. Now when he drives me home, he kisses me goodbye before I get out of the car. Now when we watch movies at his house, I fall asleep on his shoulder and it means something. It's terrifying and wonderful and everything I didn't know I needed. My parents notice but don't say anything at first. Then one night at dinner, my mom casually mentions, "So you and Ethan are going to prom together?" "Yeah." "As a couple?" I freeze, with my fork halfway to my mouth. "How did you—" "Jamie, honey," she smiles. "I've known Ethan since he was 9 years old, and I've seen the way you and Ethan look at each other. I was wondering when you two would figure it out." My dad nods. "About time, honestly. We were starting to worry you'd be too stubborn to say anything." "You knew?" "Everyone knew except you two," my mom says gently. "We're happy for you. Ethan's a good kid. He's always been a good kid." My throat gills tight. "Thanks, Mom. Just promise me you'll get good prom photos. I've been waiting years for this." May 10th arrives faster than I expect. I'm standing in front of my mirror, adjusting my tie for the 15th time, when my dad knocks on the door. "You look good, son."
I look nervous? That too. He comes to stand beside me, helps me straighten the tie I've been fumbling with. "Can I give you some advice?" "Always." "Tonight's going to be magical. First proms usually are. But remember, this is just the beginning. You've got a whole life ahead of you. So enjoy tonight, but don't put so much pressure on it that you forget to actually have fun." I nod, my chest tight with emotion. "Dad?" "Yeah?" "Thanks for being cool about everything." He pulls me into a hug. "You're my son. I'm always going to be cool about you being happy." The doorbell rings and my heart jumps into my throat. My mom practically runs to answer it, and I hear her exclaim, "Ethan! Oh, you look so handsome." "Thank you, Mrs. Foster. Is Jamie ready?" "Almost." "Jamie, Ethan's here." I take one last look in the mirror, take a deep breath, and head downstairs. Ethan is standing in the entryway, holding a clear box with a blue boutonniere inside, and he looks incredible. The suit fits him perfectly, his hair is actually styled for once, and when he sees me, his face lights up in a way that makes my stomach flip. "Hi," he says. "Hi." We're both grinning like idiots, while my mom takes about 1,000 pictures. Ethan pins my boutonniere to my lapel, his fingers gentle and careful, and I do the same for him. Our hands are shaking slightly, and we keep catching each other's eyes and smiling. "Okay, now together," my mom directs. "Arms around each other." "Perfect."
Ethan's arm slides around my waist and I lean into him, and it feels natural. Right. Like this is exactly where we're supposed to be. After what feels like 100 more photos, we finally escape to Ethan's car. He opens my door for me. "I'm being a gentleman," he says with a grin, and then we're driving toward the school, the sun setting orange and pink on the horizon. "You nervous?" "A little." "You?" "Terrified." "Yeah?" "I've been planning this night in my head for months. I'm scared it won't live up to the hype." I reach over and take his hand. "It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be us." Ethan squeezes my fingers. "When did you get so wise?" "I've always been wise. You just never noticed." He laughs, and some of the tension dissolves. We pull into the school parking lot, which is already full of people in formal wear, taking pictures and laughing and soaking up the last big event of senior year. Riley spots us immediately and runs over, their silver suit catching the light. "You two look amazing. Are you ready for this?" "As ready as we'll ever be." "Good, because everyone's going to be staring at you." My stomach drops. "What?" "In a good way. You're both hot. You're a couple now, and people are excited about it. Just embrace it." Riley winks. "Plus, I bet you $20 that Sarah Chen cries when she sees you together." "Riley," Ethan says, but he's laughing. "What? I'm just being honest." We head inside together, and the gym has been transformed. String lights hang from the ceiling, creating a canopy of soft glow. There are balloon arches and a photo booth, and a DJ who's playing something with a good beat. It looks like every prom in every movie, and yet somehow it feels magical. People do stare when we walk in. Some smile, some whisper to their friends. Sarah Chen does, in fact, look like she might cry, though whether from happiness or disappointment, I can't tell. But mostly, people just seem happy for us. "Told ya," Riley says smugly. The first hour passes in a blur of photos and awkward dancing and trying to figure out what to do with our hands. Ethan keeps finding reasons to touch me, hand on my back, adjusting my boutonniere, brushing his fingers against mine. And every time he does it, I feel it like lightning. Then, the DJ announces a slow song, and couples start pairing off on the dance floor. Ethan holds out his hand. "May I have this dance?" "You're so cheesy." "You love it." He's right. I do. We move to the center of the floor, and Ethan pulls me close, one hand on my waist, the other holding mine. We sway to the music, and it feels just like that night in his living room, except now we're surrounded by people, and the lights are low, and this is real. I'm really glad we made that pact. Even though it was stupid, especially because it was stupid. If we hadn't, I might never have worked up the courage to do this. To go to prom. To be with you. I was so scared of losing you that I almost lost my chance to have this. My throat feels tight. You would have figured it out eventually. Maybe. But I'm glad I didn't have to wait any longer. He leans his forehead against mine. Jamie Foster, I am completely, embarrassingly in love with you. People are definitely watching this now. I can feel their eyes, hear the whispers, but I don't care. I love you too, I say, and then I kiss him right there in the middle of the dance floor, with half our senior class watching. Someone whoops, someone else starts clapping. Riley's voice carries over the music. About damn time! When we break apart, we're both laughing. We're going to be the talk of the school. Good. Yeah?
Yeah. I pull him closer. Let them talk. I'm done hiding how I feel about you. His smile is radiant. Me too. We dance through 3 more songs, and then Riley drags us to the photo booth, and we take ridiculous pictures with props and filters. We get punched from the refreshment table, which tastes terrible. We watch our classmates dance and laugh and celebrate the end of high school. Around 10 o'clock, Ethan tugs on my hand. Want to get some air? We slip out a side door into the cool Maine night. The music is muffled out here, just a bass thump in the distance. The parking lot is empty except for a few couples leaning against cars, talking quietly. Ethan leads me to the football field, and we climb up into the bleachers, sitting at the top where we can see the whole school spread out below us. This is where we had lunch on the first day of freshman year, Ethan says. Remember? Yeah, you spilled chocolate milk all over yourself. And you gave me your hoodie so I could cover it up. He smiles at the memory. I had such a crush on you even then. Freshman year? Maybe earlier. Like I said, it's hard to pinpoint. He looks at me, his expression soft. But I remember thinking that day that you were the kind of person I wanted in my life forever. Ethan. I know it's cheesy. I know we're 18 and everyone says high school relationships don't last. But I don't care. I want this. I want you. For as long as you'll have me. My heart is so full it might burst. We're going to different colleges. I know. We'll be 6 hours apart. I know. It's gonna be hard. I know that too. He takes my hand. But I'd rather do hard with you than easy with anyone else. I kiss him, slow and deep, pouring everything I feel into it. When we break apart, his eyes are shining. So we're doing this, I ask? For real, not just for prom. For real, for as long as you want. Forever then. Ethan laughs. Forever is a long time. Good thing I like you a lot. Just like? Love. Good thing I love you a lot. That's better. We sit there for a while, wrapped up in each other, watching the lights of the school twinkle below us. Music drifts across the field, and we can hear laughter and the sound of people having the time of their lives. We should probably go back in, Ethan says eventually, before they crown prom king and queen without us. You think we have a shot? Absolutely not. But I want to see who wins. We climb down from the bleachers, hands linked, taking our time. When we reach the bottom, Ethan stops and turns to face me. Thank you, he says. For what? For saying yes to a drunk pact. For being patient with me while I figured my shit out. For being exactly who you are. He cups my face in his hands. For loving me back. Always, I say, and I mean it. We walk back into prom together, and the rest of the night is a blur of music and dancing and laughter. We don't win prom king. That goes to the captain of the basketball team and the student body president. But we don't care. We have something better. When the night finally ends and we're walking to Ethan's car, exhausted and happy, he says, So, what do you want to do now? Now? Yeah, the night's still young. We could go to Tyler's after party or get food or just drive around. I think about it for a second. Let's just drive. I'm not ready for tonight to end yet. Me neither. We drive through the empty streets of our small town, windows down, music playing softly. Ethan's hand rests on my thigh, and I cover it with mine. And we don't talk much. We don't need to. Eventually, we end up at the lake on the edge of town where people go to swim in the summer and make out in parked cars year-round. Ethan parks facing the water, and we get out and sit on the hood of his car, looking at the moonlight on the lake. I'm gonna miss this, Ethan says quietly. This town, high school, having you 5 minutes away. We'll come back for holidays and summers. It won't be the same. No, I admit. But maybe it'll be better. New adventures, new experiences, growing up. Growing up sounds terrifying. It is, but we'll do it together. Promise. Promise. We sit there until the sky starts to lighten on the horizon, talking about everything and nothing. About college and the future and all the things we want to do. About how scared we are and how excited. About how much things are going to change and how much we hope will stay the same. When the sun finally rises, painting the lake gold and pink, Ethan kisses me one more time. Best prom ever. Best prom ever, I agree. And as we drive home through the early morning light, our hands linked across the center console, I think about drunk promises and how sometimes the stupid things turn out to be the most important things. Sometimes the joke becomes real. Sometimes your best friend becomes the love of your life. Sometimes everything works out exactly the way it's supposed to. We have 6 hours of distance ahead of us. We have 4 years of college. We have a whole lifetime of uncertainty and change and growing up to do. But right now, in this moment, with the sun rising and Ethan's hand in mine and the memory of prom still warm in my chest, everything feels perfect. Everything feels possible. And that's enough. The end.
Appreciate you watching. Hit subscribe, like, and share. See you in the next story.